What companies have lost your business forever? Bank of America. Loyal customer for 10 years. Insulted time and time again. First with their bullcrap service fee for monthly auto-pay transactions, then I had to get a replacement debit card, which took way too long. I called to check on it, and a woman on the line said they'd never sent one out. So, very annoyed, I got another one. This card finally came, and I went to ATM to activate it, and it didn't work. Called back, and apparently this was the first card I'd ordered, which was now rendered useless because the second card, which was still in the mail, was now associated with my account. Got very irate, but remained polite with the woman on the line and was basically told there was nothing they could do. Still stuck with them. Fast forward to a different state a few months later. I got a call and I was told my account had been compromised. Was given some vague explanation about mass data theft, but basically told they had to deactivate my card and send me a new one. I told them how inconvenient this was, and they suggest I go to a branch to get a new card. I do this, and they say since my account was opened in a different state, they can't give me a temp card, and that I have to wait 5 to 7 business days again. Woman at the branch is nice and enters my new address, then calls the branch in Texas to get them to send me a new card. 5 to 7 days, no card. Call and find out that the card was sent to my old address in Texas because my address hasn't been updated, which is total bullcrap. I lose it. I don't scream, but I do ask her several pointed questions including, when is this company going to get its crap together? Which resulted in the rep acting as though I was the worst person in the world for swearing whilst frustrated and threatening to hang up. I apologize for swearing and then ask what they can do. Again, I'm basically told, tough crap, and that she can send me a new card and I can wait without one for another 5 to 7 days. I pause, think about it for 3 solid seconds and say, close my account, I'm done with your company. Short story? F Bank of America. HP. When my laptop was having overheating problems, the woman on the customer service line fricking lied and said my warranty had expired, even though I had multiple pieces of evidence showing that I had about a month left on my warranty. They were going to charge me $250 to fix the problem. I had to spend hours on the phone with various customer service associates just to get them to resolve the warranty issue. Luckily, I ended up fixing the overheating without shipping out my laptop, but still, FHP. I really like my laptop, but I'm never buying anything from them again after the bullcrap treatment I got. Currently on my HP, it can fry an egg because it gets so overheated. Also, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner built for a squirrel because of the fan. This story is 11 years old, and we don't know if HP have got better, but I can testify that my first PC from them was met with a similar level of customer service, namely telling me to try the same update that had disabled my PC's audio every prior time I'd installed it to fix my freezing problem. PayPal, because they almost managed to mess up my overseas vacation. Long story short, at the time, still, they flagged and locked your account if you tried using their service in a different country than the one your verified address is located in. Fine. Banks sometimes do that too if you don't warn them you're traveling in advance. Where PayPal failed is in their unblocking process. You needed to input a secret code sent to either your verified phone or your verified address, both of which were inaccessible to me because I was halfway around the fricking world. Priceline.com, because 45 minutes away from the airport is not an airport area hotel. I avoid PayPal whenever possible, but it's hard to when a lot of online stores don't take anything else. A guy bought my PS2 and kept telling me to tell him when the PS2 was on its way. I sent the PS2 and updated the buyer. He immediately filed an unauthorized PayPal transaction dispute, which basically means he claimed that someone used his PayPal account without his permission, so he wanted his money returned. I explained what happened. I had the email conversation with the scammer saved and I had a postage receipt, but PayPal wouldn't have any of it. Fortunately, I never post anything until the money is in my bank account, so I didn't lose anything. My PayPal account remained locked, and they wanted me to repay them for refunding the scammer. Yeah, right. Now I just use my girlfriend's account when they're the only payment option. GameStop. They just cannot compete with Steam or GOG.com for PC games. GameStop sucks, but for console games and hardware, you can get it all early if the manager knows how to work the company and will for you. Free 7 days on used games. I beat the game in 7 days and then return it, though I suppose it isn't giving them great business. Best Buy. When an object on sale rung up at the wrong price, I asked them to change it to what the shelf said. The cashier said she couldn't, so I asked her to call the manager to change it then. The manager came over and said, "That's the price." I said, "Well, let's walk over to the shelf and I'll show you the posted price." He said, "No, and we don't want your business." So I got mad and asked for the senior manager, at which point he told the cashier to call the police. I was like, "I've done nothing wrong, call them." They came and were like, "Yeah, he's a complete butthole, but he did ask you to leave, and if you don't, you're trespassing." So I asked the cop for his contact info and then contacted Best Buy Corporate and explained it, provided the manager's name and cop's name, and they sent me a $200 gift card as an apology. But I was done with Best Buy. I gave it to a family member for Christmas, since this happened a couple of weeks before Christmas a few years ago. They were very pleased. Burger King. Almost every time I've gotten food poisoning in my life, it's been from BK. I've had crap service many times as well, but the final straw was that I wanted the spicy chicken sandwich thing with extra sauce on it. The last couple of times, there was barely any of the spicy orange sauce on it. I opened the box it was in, and the fricking thing was swimming with the sauce. Not just extra sauce, but the sandwich was a soggy mess of chicken, bun, and sauce. It was completely inedible. I complained to the manager and he said, "Well, you wanted extra sauce." F you. Sony. Not because of stupid hacking, because they used to be a great engineering company, and then sold out and got into music and movie creation. They started to hobble their devices. Then they put rootkits on their CDs. They became complete scum. AT&T. I was told I could have UVerse high-speed internet in my apartment. They ship me a router. I leave everything in the box and wait for the installer to get there because I have a funny feeling, which turned out to be correct. The installer shows up, informs me the lines haven't been updated and I can't get UVerse. Disappointed, I take the prepaid UPS sticker out of the box they shipped me, slap it on the box, tape it back up, and ship it back. A month later, I get a bill in the mail for the router. I call and spend a lot of time confirming they indeed got the router and was assured the billing system just hadn't been caught up yet. So I thought it was over. Nope. Months later, I start getting calls from a collection company. AT&T sold my debt to them. I spend more time, oodles of time, telling them that they have the damn router and to call off their hired goons. Ended up sending the goons a certified letter to cease and desist. Everything was quiet. I thought it was over. Nope. A few months later, I start getting calls and letters from another collection agency. Collection agency number 1 sold it to a different collection agency. This time I pitch a fit. I call AT&T. I tweet AT&T reps on Twitter. I raise a heck of a stink, and finally, the calls stop. I think it's over. Nope! I start getting collection letters for $14. Apparently they took off the $89 to $100 for the router they'd been wanting to charge me, but still wanted me to pay the fee the collection agency tacks on to make the debt worth their while. So I call AT&T and they have the fricking nerve to say they'll have to investigate and see if I owe the fee or not. God. Needless to say, I spent many hours on this over the year and I'll never get that back. AT&T, go F yourselves, forever, in the dark with a chainsaw. There was a pizza place near my campus. The middle-aged owner was always there hitting on drunken girls late at night. While that didn't bother me, what did was that any time I tried to order, he brushed me off, like I was distracting him from his flirting. Very rude and arrogant. His employee was incredibly nice and served me. But the fact that it happened more than once, and the fact that there are 3 more pizza places on the same block, well, screw that guy. I mean, I'm more annoyed at the implication of a sober, dirty old man hitting on inebriated girls, but hey, you get teed off by what tees you off, my dude. Canadian here. Rogers, based on many bad experiences and principle. Bell, on principle alone. Quiznos. So, had a coupon for a free sub. I ordered it, and they wouldn't validate the damn thing. Apparently Kellogg's or whatever cereal I got the coupon from did it without their permission, which I find really hard to believe. Anyway, I was starving and they'd made me the sandwich, and I felt guilty, so I paid for the darn thing, even though I was broke and it was like $10 fricking dollars. It was burnt, just a mess of bread and sauce and crap all over, and just straight up fricking disgusting. I don't know how anyone can stand them, I was so mad. Went back just to meet my sister a few days later though, and she had ordered a drink already. Free refills. So we just hung out there, shared the drink, and refilled it like 20 times. Vengeance. Not really. I'll never go back. Air France. What a shower of rude and incompetent, snobby jerks in general. I was stuck in Paris 2 years ago at Christmas because of snow. They had nobody working the desks anywhere. They booked me into a hotel room that didn't exist, so I left the warm departure lounge for the freezing entrance. A member of staff told me to F off when I asked when the customer service desk would open, and they literally had one check-in desk open to deal with all the rearranged flights in their own fricking airport. They then lost my luggage for the whole 3 weeks I was home and refused any compensation claim. Oh yeah, and the morons will speak French to you on a Paris to Tokyo flight and be angry when you need to switch to English. So I started replying in Japanese, ya funny boys. Ulta. Too many snobs. God, me too. I found a great price on an epilator at Ulta online. Went to the store and found it was $25 more expensive. Asked the sales girl about it and she stood there seriously for about 5 minutes, scratching her head and being all, "Oh my god, that's so weird, I can't believe, it's a different price. How weird is that? It's so random, oh my god." I had to actually walk away and find someone who looked less stupid, but couldn't find anyone, so left and I bought the epilator at Target instead. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out Easy Mode, also linked below, and subscribe. Not exactly relevant anymore since they closed down years ago, but before that point, Circuit City. I've had 2 horrible experiences with them, and after the second time, I swore to never go back there again. Shortly after the GameCube came out, I was searching all around town for one. I called them up and they said they had a whole bunch in stock. We drove over there, about a 10-minute drive, and not only did they not have any, they hadn't had any for days and wouldn't be getting any for several more days. The day Xenosaga Episode 3 came out, I walked around town to try and find a copy. Circuit City said they had a few copies, and they'd save one for me. We took that same 10-minute drive out there, and I find the guy I spoke with and he opens a drawer and pulls out Xenosaga Episode 2. I tell him, no, I wanted Episode 3. His reply, "This is 3. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. That's 2. Whatever, man, it's the same thing anyway, right? So are you gonna buy it? No, I'm looking for 3. I have 2. But this is the same thing? You're an idiot. And so I left, never to return. Dell. 4 years ago, I had some expensive Dell XPS laptop that started getting randomly hot. So I called Dell's customer support. They tell me nothing is wrong, then hang up on me. A few weeks later, my laptop won't turn on. I call customer support again, but this time they send someone out to look at the laptop. The motherboard was cracked, so they just replace it, but the laptop was still getting really hot. 14-year-old me thinks that the fans are broken, shocker, right? But they insist that nothing is wrong. Long story short, they end up replacing my motherboard, RAM, and hard drive over the next few visits, but they still insist the laptop just gets hot. At this point, it's not the same laptop, so I keep asking Dell for a new one, since this one just doesn't work. They won't replace it, but my mum finds out where I live. Dell has been sued and lost multiple times for using faulty parts and so on. We bring that up, and a few weeks later there's a $4,500 Alienware laptop sitting at my door that they sent me for free. My friend still wonders why I tell him to never buy from Dell and just offer to help them build their own PCs instead. Walmart. I don't hate capitalism or large corporations, but Walmart represents everything that is wrong with American capitalism and corporate culture. Yeah, this would be my answer too. There are so many things wrong with it that I can't even point out which is most important. They treat their workers horribly, their customers horribly, they do illegal crap overseas and use sweatshops to make their prices so low. They put smaller companies out of business and ruin livelihoods in the process. And they mess up the economy so that it has to rely on all these horrible facets. They're terrible on every level. I can't boycott every company that does anything wrong, but holy crap, if you're gonna pick one to boycott, it should be this one. It doesn't cover the same issues, just the symptoms, but feel free to enjoy our old video, Store Workers and Customers, What's Your People of Walmart Story, on this channel to hear what this mega corporation turns people into. Capital One. They kept losing my payments, my online payments, so I'm not sure how you can lose those. 100 times this. Years ago, I had a credit card with them. It had a balance of around $600. I called to let them know I was canceling it. I planned to pay it off over a few months at $150 a month. At the time, I was reasonably well off, so I paid most of my bills on autopilot. After 9 months, I realized I was still paying it off, and that didn't make sense. I checked my balance, With no new charges and paying $150 a month, my balance was now over $1,000. I called them and went through all kinds of people before I found out what was happening. They had literally made up charges on my account. I knew the charges were fake because I'd already cancelled the card. These fake charges were putting me repeatedly over my limit, with a $40 over-limit charge each time this happened. Once I realized this and threatened legal action, they realized it was a computer error, and that your account is fine. They apologized for the mistake and I thought I was done with it. 10 years later, I started getting calls trying to collect on a $1,500 balance. Whenever I get such a call, I simply tell them, that account was paid in full and on time and you have been defrauded. I generally don't hear anything for about a year at a time now. Target Photo Center. They had an ad that when you sign up, you got 50 free prints. So I made an account and ordered 50 pictures for my 21-year-old cousin's funeral picture board. I show up and the trashy lady tried to charge me for all the prints. When I ask to see a manager, she just laughs and walks away. And it wasn't the first time I had a bad experience there. Apple. I work in IT, so I will never understand paying more money for less functionality, less hardware flexibility, and proprietary connectors. Nexon. As for gaming, worst company I have ever bought virtual points for. I spent about $600 in 2 years for that game, and their customer service was pretty much non-existent. You'd send a complaint, a ticket, and you'd get an immediate response, "We're busy, we may not get to your ticket for a while." And 6 months later you'd get a response, but nothing would be accomplished. So you'd send another complaint and it's just a horrible experience. 0 out of 10 would never buy from again. Nikon. I got one of their PowerShot cameras and I had it for about 8 months. I didn't get it wet, I didn't drop it. Basically, I kept it in ideal condition, but the LCD screen still broke. So I sent it to them just to have it fixed. Keep in mind it was still under warranty, so repairs should have been free. A few weeks later they sent me an email that basically said, "Yeah, we'll fix it." For $100? Hell no! That was almost half the price of the camera. Switched back to Canon and haven't looked back. After watching Food Inc., I haven't bought one Tyson product. It's been nearly 2 years and I've continued to buy free range and as much organic stuff as I can. Coming from someone who makes minimum wage, it's hard to afford, but I refuse to support crap companies like Tyson. Their plant, anti-union bias, active recruiting in poverty-stricken countries, and pollution have ruined my hometown. You can smell my town 15 miles away. What makes me more mad, though, is how my hometown bent over backward to accommodate them. Lexington, Nebraska is run by the "money? Yes" idea of government, and it leads to a smelly, broke, corrupt as crap rural Nebraskan town. Lenovo. Like a month ago, I ordered a laptop with them. Due to finding a better deal online, I decided to purchase a different laptop. Before I spent the money, I cancelled the order with Lenovo. Unlike something like Amazon where you can cancel it online, I had to call and I had to talk with someone who I could barely understand. Thick foreign accent. 45 minutes later, I thought I'd cancelled the order. The man told me it would take 3 to 5 days and they'd send me an email. 7 days later, I got the email. Another 4 days after that, and I was charged the $800 for the laptop, despite only having $500 in my account, overdrafting 3 pending purchases. Another 2 hours on the phone with my bank and Lenovo, and I was promised a full refund within 24 to 48 hours. Those passed and nothing happened. I called again and they said the order had already shipped. It shipped weeks after I cancelled the order? So I had to wait until it arrived and refuse the order. Today, a week or so after that, and I've still got nothing in my account, despite them continually saying like within 3 business days and in 24 hours. I still don't have any money, but Wells Fargo is on my side at least. In summary, screw Lenovo. They charged me for an order since it shipped over a week after I cancelled it, and have taken 3 weeks and still haven't given me back the money I desperately need and have incurred about $100 of fees due to overdrafts on. Well, since I've already complained about HP, I'll say that in my one instance of complaint to Lenovo, they were a lot better about it and refunded. But then again, their crappy laptop had electrocuted me, so maybe they got off easy for that. VMware. I purchased an academic license of Workstation 9 from them, and I needed another for my other computer. It's only a per-computer license. Nowhere on the academic site did it say you could only buy one academic copy. Their website errored out on purchase, telling me that my email address was already registered when I tried to buy the second license for Workstation while already logged in. I contacted support, and after a month of runaround and my pointing out that I had an academic project coming due that required the second license, they told me that I could only get one academic license for Workstation, which was stated nowhere on their site. I then requested my support ticket to be escalated due to them giving me the runaround, and they suggested using an alternate email to purchase the software. You need an EDU email to get the academic version, and it's kind of hard to get a second EDU email. I'm not dealing with their bullcrap anymore, not after that one. If they wanted to say you can only buy one copy of Workstation on academic license within even the first week of the ticket, that's one thing, but to mess me around for a month while I have academic work coming due that requires the second license and then give me the bird after a month of messing me around, screw them. Business in Australia called Harvey Norman's. I'll never shop there because the guy who runs it, Jerry Harvey, is a huge whiner who always wants the government to tax this or ban that because his business is hard to run in the current economic conditions. It's called capitalism, mate. Just because you had some boom times doesn't mean it'll last forever. Adapt or die. Sears. While working there for a year and a half, I came to the conclusion that they don't care about their customers or their employees. Those are great examples of how they like to mess over everyone. I hated working there, and I can't believe the one I worked at is still open. We'd have 5 customers all night, and then managers would yell at us for not getting 5 people to join the rewards program or get a credit card. They told us to lie about the rewards program and to sign people up without them knowing. They wanted us to ask for their phone numbers and emails and sign them up without telling them why. It was so stressful. A woman had been working there for 25-ish years and was only making 9-something an hour. I was sick of going home and crying every night, and I was sick of being threatened with losing my job. Before I quit, my manager informed me that the store manager did not want me there. I worked hard and I was great with customers, but I wouldn't lie or sweet-talk people into something they really didn't want, so they drove me to quit. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, or if you want some vibey music to put on in the background, check out Easy Mode. If you like Am I the Genius, give Am I the Jerk a shot. Everything linked in the description.